Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome one and all to another edition of Thoughts from a Driver's Seat. I am your host, Abdul-Haqq, where we discuss topics that are relevant, silly, banal, and recurring. It's a pretty chilly Thursday morning, about 40 degrees. Excuse me. Man, 40 degrees in Jackson, Mississippi. Anyway, one of the things I want to discuss today, if at all possible, was the topic of war. And I actually begin real quick again. This is a vlog series where I discuss a couple of topics. Try to keep it 5 minutes or less, and let you be back on your merry way. But I'm reminded by one of my favorite MCs, to begin. One of my favorite MCs, a guy by the name of Rock of Irish Science of LA's Dilated Peoples, who said, if more than half the budget is spent on military spending, less than half goes to whatever it's defending. I think that was very poignant. We talk about war today because we see today how it has been easily and so quickly used as a marketing tool when it's very, very, a very serious deal. Talked yesterday a little bit about the deficit that we have. And one of the biggest line item budgets from both the last administration with George W. Bush, actually both of his administrations, and even now still remains our armed forces and our armed conflicts. Now, whoa, I don't want people saying, "Oh my God, Sabir, you don't support our troops." It's not the case at all. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I have good friends and family members who are servicemen and women in all branches of the armed forces, and everything from Marines to Navy, Air Force, Air National Guard, etc. But you have to really look at the cumulative view of it. I stayed up late last night with my wife. We were watching Black Hawk Down. I've never seen that movie. Great film by Ridley Scott. Good performances by Josh Hartnett and Orlando Bloom and many other folks that were in that film. But I think that's you look at things like, for example, you look at Transformers. Transformers basically showed the Navy. It was a little bit of the Navy, but they also had some Marines and a little bit of Army elements in there. The movie 300 was definitely about Army. I mean, that was definitely about the Army. Iron Man was about the Air Force. I mean, you look at things, they're basically movies these days, not even these days, just going back, because Black Hawk Down came out back in 2000. Great movies, all of them, but each of them have the recurring theme actually of basically being a commercial for an armed force. But yet you have so many of our folks, so many of our sons and daughters, when they come back from overseas, of course, are not in the best, not in the best shape. It doesn't happen all the time. Sorry about that, technical difficulty. It doesn't happen all the time, but it is something that is recurring. It is something that happens, and it is something that we need to speak out on to make sure that veterans' rights are taken care of. But when you look at war, you look at what it does holistically to the soldier. You got your PTSDs. You got your Eric Bana actually in Black Hawk Down. He said when he comes home, he asks toward the end of the movie, he's talking to Josh Hartnett. He says, my friends, they see me. He said, "Hey man, what's the deal, man? Are you just some kind of war junkie?" And he says he doesn't even answer them. And what I got from that was that as a soldier, you basically are going to the gates of hell, and everything that you're doing within there is hellish. And so when you return home, all you know is hell, because that's all you've lived for, whatever the tour or the length of time that you were in there. That's all you've done. That's all you've been, was a soldier, an agent, not an agent, but a soldier that's basically in hell. Your life was hell while you were there. It wasn't a picnic while you were over there, or wherever you were stationed. It was hell. And so I really think that I want to stay to our 5 minutes here. I've got roughly about 45 seconds. I really think that we should always be mindful of the cost of war, not only monetarily, but also spiritually and mentally, to those who go ahead and give those ultimate sacrifices. Yes, I support my troops. I do not support those folks who go over there and think that with a stroke of a pen or their current ideals, or they're sitting back, to quote what they said in Bourne Ultimatum, try to quarterback from an armchair what's really happening in the field. Folks who are really going through some serious situations, both while they're there, the loss of life, the loss of limb, the many hardships that soldiers go through, and then to come back and deal with hardships, whether it be financially, whether it be through, God forbid, disability, etc. We need to always be able to show our level of support for our troops. We always need to be able to be completely understanding about the cost of war. I believe Obama and Shinseki, Eric Shinseki, who is his Secretary of Veterans Affairs, I think they should definitely go ahead and tighten things up, about making things better for our veterans. Thankfully, hopefully we'll be out of Afghanistan, 2012, with a complete withdrawal by, it's going to start in 2012, was it? And a complete withdrawal by 2014, I believe it was. We're already out of Iraq. We can't be the world police. We're not Team America, F yeah. That's not how that works. We need to be, to handle what we need to handle. We're going to support and, whatever alliances that we have. But at the same time, we also need to be able to help our economy back home. And that includes ending the biggest line item budget item that we have, which is military spending. Again, make peace, not war, all that good stuff. But support your troops. Show love for your veterans. Thank them. And God bless. It's been another edition of Thoughts from a Driver's Seat.